My name is Dr. Kim Baldwin. Today, as part of the Caribbean Week of Agriculture 2025, the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM, has invited me to speak about advancing the ecosystem approach to fisheries with drone technology. Ecosystem approach to fisheries, or EAF, is a holistic strategy that considers the entire ecosystem, including human interactions, to achieve sustainable and equitable uses of resources. A key principle of EAF is stakeholder participation in management of our fisheries resources. Today, most people know me as a drone mapping instructor, but I'm actually a fisheries biologist by training. My PhD was based on a participatory approach, building a transboundary marine resource and space use information system for the Grenadines, a participatory GIS. In 2012, I contributed to FAO's EAF toolkit by developing participatory mapping methods to help managers implement this approach. In a nutshell, participatory GIS is a user-centered, demand-driven approach about obtaining good quality data, as well as the process of building capacity for people to participate in environmental management. Unfortunately, as a GIS lecturer of many years, GIS was a serious bottleneck. It's inherently hard to use and therefore has limited true participatory GIS. But now, with emerging technologies like drones and analysis tools, we are offered new, exciting ways that can allow us to easily collect data and engage communities. Most of us know by now that drones save us time and money, improve safety, and provide timely and highly accurate data. But what sets drones apart and is central to my work are the last four benefits. Drones make data collection more participatory and transparent, can be used across scales and sectors, builds local capacity and understanding, and is directly aligned with national commitments and global goals. This has been a game changer for fisheries management. To me, this is the most exciting aspect. I refer to this as the Participatory-UAS Approach, which supports ecosystem approach to fisheries and co-management by merging local knowledge with scientific data that empowers stakeholders to monitor and map their environment and changes together, all while building trust and transparency. Why should we use drones in fisheries management? Drones help us quickly map habitat and resources. We can monitor the abundance and behavior of species. It strengthens enforcement and surveillance. It helps us respond to disasters, supports search and rescue, and improves long-term planning. To make these ideas concrete, I will highlight a few rapid-fire case studies. The first is from Belize. So what I'm showing you here is that there are a variety of different drone flight survey plans, all which can be used for different applications and different end users. So this is a core part of my training, getting my drone pilots and analysts to understand what data and what scale do they need, as well as who needs to be engaged and what data products need to be created. The next is rapid mapping and monitoring of fish habitats, of resources, fishing livelihoods, and community vulnerability, as well as impacts on the environment. You can see a variety of different case studies here, from mapping reefs, sea moss farming, anchor damage, as well as essential fish habitat, coastal vulnerability, and disaster response. This is a great example from Anguilla, in which I conducted a drone training for the Disaster Management Agency. You can see on the left, we had done a baseline orthomosaic map of a low-lying, vulnerable coastal fishing community. And the day the training ended, a hurricane hit that evening, and we were able to go out and quickly map and monitor the environment. I think what's more exciting about this is that we were able in real time to share this information both nationally, but also regionally to the CIMH, as well as globally to the overseas UK territories authorities, so that we could collaboratively assess the damages and make mitigation plans for response. This is another great example from Barbados. So here, the team and I in Barbados, we had mapped this area, the Fisheries Division, this is Bridgetown, before Hurricane Beryl. That was 2022. You can see this is a panorama. Also, the Fisheries Division is able to inspect boats and vessels here in this image. And so this was quite useful. And then in 2024, Hurricane Beryl hit. And so here, I believe, I show you a screen share. On the right is the hurricane. So we were able, right after the hurricane, to get out and map the area and quantify the damages. So again, quite useful for monitoring changes over time. Furthermore, here's an example of video. So not just drone maps are useful. A lot of times you also need to have other multimedia. So here's just a video before in 2023 of the fisheries complex and infrastructure in Bridgetown. And then right here is the same area flown after Hurricane Beryl. So again, having a whole variety of information centrally stored in the cloud allows for national planning and decision making, but also regional access and information. And lastly, probably one of my favorite things is the fact that you can annotate these maps in a simple program. This is Drone Deploy, but export the data into GIS, as well as have automated reports being built that can quantify and add up, as well as Excel tables, etc. It's really been a game changer, I find, for my students and countries. Here's some more examples from Trinidad, as well as Tortola in the BVI. Fisheries officers in both these two countries collected, mapped, and annotated these. Both of them were looking at coastal erosion, as well as fisheries inspections, surveillance, and enforcement, as well as planning new fisheries infrastructure. It's really been a great experience to be working with the Fisheries Division officers and all the various ways that they are now able to use this data and information. Here's another great example from the Bahamas. This is Montague in Nassau, in which the Department of Marine Resources was trained and using this map for surveillance and enforcement of fishing activities happening at the site. You can see here on the right, in the orange, they're looking at anchor damage in the seagrass beds. So drones allow us to have in the sky, and it can help patrol marine protected areas, detect illegal fishing, and spot unauthorized vessels, inspect fishing gear, or monitor remote areas. Drones can cover areas faster than on-water patrols and collect photographic proof. While drones will not replace manned patrols entirely, they are a force multiplier for monitoring, control, and surveillance in fisheries. Here's another great example from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is an FAO project. And so the Ministry of Agriculture, this is the entire south coast of St. Vincent. The team, which comprised of pilots and data analysts, worked together to create a disaster risk management map. And this map was able to be integrated, as you can see on the right, with the existing national GIS data sets and used for planning and development of marine spatial plans and the marine management agent area on the south coast of St. Vincent. Fisheries management benefits and opportunities. Integration of drones into fisheries management offers many tangible benefits and opportunities. Drones yield timely, high-resolution data that feed into evidence-based policy making. Having up-to-date maps and imagery makes the process more scientific and transparent. In short, better data leads to better outcomes, and drones are a cost-effective way to get that data, especially when resources are limited. We all face budget constraints. Traditional fisheries research is expensive. In contrast, the price of a drone and training personnel that can perform routine monitoring at a fraction of the cost. Furthermore, cloud-based platforms allow us to work at multiple scale and levels of stakeholders, ranging from communities, nations, to regional and global levels. Embracing drone technology comes with the side benefit of upskilling staff and engaging stakeholders. In several countries, I have run training programs for fisheries officers, park rangers, and community members alike. These trainings have created a large number of drone pilots across the Caribbean who are now applying their skills in fisheries and agricultural projects, as well as improving alternative livelihoods. This approach is not just about fisheries, but all sectors, including disaster management, agriculture, and forestry. Truly a win-win for development. And finally, using EAF aligns with broader national and global policy goals. It directly supports climate change adaptation, food security, and contributes to the blue economy by improving the sustainable management of our marine resources. In conclusion, drones are far more than a cool gadget. They represent a practical innovation to advance the ecosystem approach to fisheries by providing better environmental data, engaging communities, and enhancing management effectiveness. Drone technology addresses both the ecological and human dimensions of fisheries sustainability. These case studies from around the region show that this is not theoretical. It is already happening with impressive results. So together, let's advance EAF with drones and ensure our fisheries stay sustainable and resilient for generations to come. Thank you. I must also thank all the numerous projects and partners that have worked on these drone case studies with me over the last 10 years. I think the underlying point that I'd like to emphasize is the importance of collaboration across the various levels and scales of stakeholders. And I really firmly believe that this is what has been instrumental to the success of this approach. Thanks again, everyone.